We're showing most people how to achieve in 4 years, which many people can't accomplish after working 40 years in their career. Just think about this. After working a full 40 years, many people can't really maintain the lifestyle they have or be able to increase it now that they have more time to enjoy it. That's why you hear a lot of talk now about people saying we have a 60-year career, the new 60-year career, or people say I'm going to work until I die. Now, if that's you, that's the path you're on, this video is not for you. We're talking to the people that see that once they finish working, their income is probably going to decrease from when they were working. So therefore, they need to do some things differently, maybe some alternatives to think about so that they can maintain at least the lifestyle that they're at, or now that they have more time, be able to increase their lifestyle. I mean, I'll just kind of highlight three different points in which you're probably working in now, but you never really thought of. If you can swing that in the other direction, just think of those 3 points as like the three hinges on the door that allow you to open the door that's already closed. And we'll just kind of summarize them in saying what you probably need to do is to stop the bleeding, to start the flow, and to trim the fat. Now, let me explain. When you say trim the fat, you're looking at a lot of what you're probably doing now, placing the money, what you have for, let's call it retirement, in vehicles where the cost on those vehicles are very, very high. So you're probably paying somewhere between 4 and 5%, or let's just say somewhere between 3 and 4% in those vehicles, and that's 3 and 4% every year based on the total balance you have. So if you kind of look at that, doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at what that 3 or 4% could do for you over time, if you just cut that in half to, let's say, 1.5 or 2%, that additional 2% compounded for you over your lifetime can do you a tremendous amount of good. But the bigger thing in which you're going to have are taxes. And some of those vehicles you have, let's just take a 401k. A 401k is where you're putting the money in and you're delaying the taxes for later on. But when it's time to pay the taxes, what do you think tax rates are going to be in the future? You think they're going to go higher or they're going to go lower? If you're saying higher, I would agree with you just based upon like when President Bush left office and President Obama came in there, they had the bank bailouts. So that cost the taxpayers trillions of dollars. And then when President Trump left the office and President Biden came in, they had we had COVID, the world was shut down, and we started paying out all the stimulus money. So just based on those two factors alone, the trillions and trillions of dollars that was paid out, you can bet that tax will be in the future. Taxes are going to be higher in the future. But what you're looking at is that you're not only going to pay tax on the money you put into that 401k, you're going to pay tax on the match that you had gotten from your employer. In addition to that, you're going to have to pay tax on all the gain you have. So if you're a farmer and you had the choice between paying taxes on, let's say, the bag of seed or the harvest after everything, all the crops that grew, and you put them in the trucks and there's 7, 8 trucks driving away, would you rather pay the taxes on that bag of seed or the harvest? Well, for most people, they don't realize that they're paying taxes right now on that harvest. Now, when we say stop the bleeding, kind of talking about the assets that you have that are going to be taken, that be used for you during retirement. They may be in vehicles where you're going to be losing money. So let's say if that's tied to the market. Right now, the market's down. You're losing money, but you don't really have a chance for that asset to really be able to pick up again because you're going to have to play catch up. So you never really get the use of that. So if you had that same retirement vehicle that's working for you that never lost any money, you stop the bleeding, you never have to play catch up with that again. So when the market's down, you don't lose anything, you just pick up where it left off. And then we say let it flow. I mean, just think of your income when you later on in life, when you're ready to retire, ready to walk away. You have two different choices. You can have money sitting in the lake or money sitting in the pool. I mean, money sitting in the lake or money sitting in a river. So the river is going to be constantly flowing. But the money that you can draw from a lake, if you had the money in a lake, once you start pulling the water out of the lake starts to condense and the resources start to shrink. So eventually you're going to have to take less and less in order to be able to preserve it, or it's going to dry up. But if you had it coming directly, let's say a source that like a river, it's going to be constantly flowing, never stop flowing. You can take as much as you need to be able to sustain your lifestyle. If you want to increase it, you just take more from that river. So just looking at those three different principles, that's kind of how we can show people in 4 years what they can really achieve and be able to accomplish, that they've never really understood when they're going through that period of that 5 year period. I'm sorry, that 40-year period in which they're working. If you want to learn more about this, just get back to the person that shared the video with you. Be happy to expound on these concepts and be able to show you how, if you want to be able to stop working early, you can do that, because when you put these principles in place, these things will start working for you like magic. Or if you're at the road now, whereas though you're not at the point where you think you're going to be at retirement, in 4 short years, you can have yourself on a plan to be really exceed where you are in your retirement goals. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.